Hey there, this is Dr. Craig, and I have been using Gemini to analyze images to create design styles, particularly when there is communication to whānau, to families in a school community. Because what we can do is analyze a design style that may reflect their culture, their background, and then use that to influence how we might communicate to them in terms of the style. One of the key points of the science of learning is around students learn best when they experience a sense of belonging. I know that for me, when I see something that has a particular Samoan design, I see that in my own home. I see the own designs here because of my family. My extended ainga is Samoan. And so when I see things that have a Samoan design style, I see it, I recognize it, I feel a sense of connection to it. And so what I wanted to do is for you is just very quickly show you how you can find images and then analyze them with Gemini, and then create a prompt, and then use that in something like NotebookLM, which schools are increasingly using because it RAGs, Retrieval-Augmented Generation. What this means is that the AI is using its brain to point to a particular document and then draw from that document rather than the entire internet and everything it's consumed. So it's looking at the document to provide it boundaries and content. So Retrieval-Augmented Generation, RAG, this is something that schools need to remember. RAGing is incredibly important. The more that we point AI to particular documents, we limit the hallucinations or the lies or the manipulations that AI may make with a particular content that we're interested in. So here we go. What I've done is I've done a search for Fijian Indian design styles, and I've used the deep mode for AI with Gemini. So I've gone into Google and done a simple Google search for Fijian Indian design visual styles. And as I was looking through, I found this one on the right-hand side that, let me bring this up for you so you can see it actually. I found this one on the right-hand side. And I thought that's quite a nice design style. I've seen that before in some high schools in Manukau. That's the Fijian or Fijian Indian design style they might use, or similar to it with the patterns. So what I did is I opened that image in a new tab so I could see it a little bit more closely. I thought, yep, from my perspective, that looks really good. It looks really engaging. I'm just going to copy that image and come over to Gemini. I'm going to drop it in there, and I'm going to ask Gemini to analyze this design and visual style. Now, I don't worry about spelling mistakes. Usually you're watching me, so I should be a bit more tidy with my spelling and grammar, but I know that AI will pick it up. Here we go. So it's given a composition, the motif and symbolism, color palette, love that, and aesthetic. So I'm going to say, give me a prompt I can use in Gemini to create this style with other content. Yeah, so let's see what it creates for me. Usually Gemini gives me more than one prompt and I can see which one might work. Okay, so I've got a master prompt and some tips. Oh, I like that. Good. All right, so I'm going to just grab this. I'm going to copy it. So now I'm going to get a NotebookLM and find a notebook. So notebooklm.google.com. And when I go into NotebookLM, you can click the plus button and create a notebook and then add sources. So I've got a number of these around different topics that are of interest to me and that I do professional learning and development for, either for me, for Summit Institute around AI and the sciences of learning, or for the Ministry of Education when I'm doing mathematics or assessment PLD for the Ministry of Education. Here in New Zealand, I'm going to pick up this one here, the Sciences of Learning in the refreshed curriculum. So this is a research article, what I will do is I'll put a link to this research article that I wrote around the sciences of learning, and I analysed the draft New Zealand curriculum for science, the refreshed curriculum. So I analysed it in terms of the science of learning. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because that is my source, I know that Gemini, which powers Notebook, which comes from Google, is not going to go all over the internet. On the right-hand side, you can see I've got my studio assets that I can create different types of visuals I can use. What I do is in the chat area here, I make it a learning guide and click save. Then I come over to infographic, and instead of just hitting the button, which uses the templates that are built into Notebook, I'm going to click the arrow on the right-hand side. I'm going to create something that's square so I can use it in a range of platforms. It'll fit good on my slides, and I can then put some instructions around the side if I need to, and it'll be okay on social media. So I'm going to say, summarize the key concepts from the source, which is the research paper. Use, and I notice I've got chosen English as the main language, use English and Fijian languages for the headings in a bilingual style, and use this design style for the visual design. Using quote marks and dropping it in there. What I'm going to do is get rid of this insert your content here, because the content is in the source already. The final thing that I'd add after the quotation marks around the design style is say use New Zealand English, because if I create something fabulous and then it's got Z's instead of S's, it's no good. So I'm just going to click generate. And you can see I've got two other infographics that I've already made with different design styles. And where I got the design styles from is from my visual prompting guide. So if I just add another row, I keep adding things when I find them and they work for me. And so this is the prompting phrase for the design style for Fijian Indian. And so I'm going to grab up here from the analysis. And I'm going to drop it in the description so I know what I was talking about. Type in here Fijian Indian. Now, it might not necessarily reflect fully Indian or fully Fijian, but it's the weaving together of these two strong cultures from Fiji. Okay, so I've got this visual design style guide where I've been analyzing different images and creating prompts that I could use to reflect different interests of kids, from Minecraft to different cultural reflections. And so what I will do is I'll share this guide for you as a template, and I'll drop it into the description as well as the prompt that I used to analyze it. And also here, because I first originally developed this for Rotorua Specialist School in New Zealand, Rotorua Specialist School, because we were using Storybook to create simple social stories for students. And so I'll share this, but this is a reduced version that focuses on the prompting. And in here, as well as prompting, I've got high and low contrast prompts that are really good for visually impaired students. So let's come back to NotebookLM. It's already created this infographic. Let's open it up and have a look and see if it picked up on the visual design style prompt that we gave it. Oh, wow. Ba-boom. Let me make that bigger for you. So here you can see we've got the foundations of learning. I'm going to have to get someone who's Fijian to check this out and make sure it's correct. So let me see if I can zoom in a bit more on that. I can't. Okay. But you can see what I mean. Let me get rid of myself and make this a bit bigger. No, it doesn't really work. So here you've got knowledge first sequencing. That's really important. And the New Zealand curriculum across the board for all learning areas has knowledge and practice as sequence statements. Belonging drives achievement. You remember that I said that. So on the right-hand side, we've got belonging drives achievement. So that's one of the key sciences of learning, or science of learning points, that students learn best when they experience a sense of belonging. So it's picked up on the sciences of learning. It's picked up on the analysis that I did of the science curriculum. I've got headings, and I've got them in English and in Fijian, which of course I'll need to check and make sure it's okay. You can see the design style really reflects this style, the colors, the motifs, and the flavor of that. So after checking the language is okay and getting someone who's from Fiji to go, yep, that looks like, a design style we might use, then I'd happily put that on a slide set and give it out as a summary infographic. So whether you're a principal of a school and you're thinking about how do I analyze data and how do I make it presentable to parents, and how do I communicate the changes to achievement and reporting that we're doing in New Zealand in our new curriculum learning areas and a new something that we're doing in school, and invite them in with something that engages with them. How could I create something for the Fijian whānau, the Māori whānau, our tangata whenua? How do we create something for our Mandarin Chinese families? How do we create something that reflects the theme of what we're doing? We could be having an abstract art theme or matariki, and so we want to weave in a design style that reflects the content. You can do that in minutes using NotebookLM and providing it RAG in terms of the content you want, giving it a visual design style that reflects the prompt that you put in there. So I'm happy with that. I'll bring up just one more to show you. And the prompting behind this you can find really easily. So what I wanted to do was use base colors and follow an infographic design style that I found online. I liked the design style. I got Gemini to analyze it and give me a prompt. So when we want to reuse the prompt with different assets and different things in the studio, I like this one with the Fijian style. So let me make this a bit bigger for you. What I'm going to do is click on the 3 dots. And here you'll see it says View Prompt and Sources. So if I click that and open it up, I can copy that design prompting and style so that anything else I create emulates the same look and feel. So I can create a slide deck and drop that in there and make sure everything else is as I wanted it. I could create a video overview and try that. And often that will work, though sometimes it doesn't. I might have an audio overview, which is just like an audio file, which is like a podcast with 2 people talking about the content. So the visual style doesn't matter so much. But the other aspects here, you could choose to use that as well if the opportunity is there for you as these develop and get better and better to actually create content that reflects our whānau. I'm just going to jump into a different one here and see if I can find something that actually has a PowerPoint or a slide set. This doesn't have a slide set. Let me jump into this one. No, trying really hard there. Here's enriched and gifted. Oh, here we go. We've got the Architecture of Maths Potential. That's a movie. I know that's a slide set. Let me bring that up for you and have a look. So I did a Minecraft design style. And I also had a color palette that I wanted to be in there for this high contrast. So as I click through, you notice that it's been picked up in the slide set as well. Imagine the time you would spend as a teacher, as an educational leader, as someone who does PLD with educators, someone who works with community, and you wanted to create a really reflective slide deck for content. Lovely. So you get the idea. You can analyze a visual. You can then take that visual and you can create a prompt from it and use it in NotebookLM to create really visually engaging content that you share with whānau and your community. So I'm Dr. Craig. With the description here in YouTube, you'll see a link to Summit Institute, which is where we do our training and development across the country in a range of different learning areas. We're NZQA approved, and we also have New Zealand's only NZQA approved micro-credentials for educators that you can do and learn and become awesome at using AI in the educator's workflow, become more effective, differentiate and personalize for learning. Because I believe that AI is the biggest equity move we can make in our generation. Thanks for watching. Feel free to share this. Please do like and subscribe so more people can find this recording and we can share it with other people around New Zealand. Thank you.